Hi everyone. Today we are going to be painting this super cute folk art inspired whimsical watercolor landscape. I hope you guys enjoy. Today for our materials, we are going to use fluid cold press. It's the 6x8 size. And it is on a block. And I am gonna also today, I am using my today for materials, we are gonna use this fluid cold press 100% cotton 6x8 block. I am using my Quiller's Travelers palette with my Danielle Smith paint. And this is our sketch. I'm going to go ahead and lighten it. But I wanted you guys to initially be able to see it. We may add a few things. I may choose to use some ink. If I do, just you can use a micron, or if you have a fountain pen, or a Sharpie, whatever you have. This is very beginner friendly, and I thought it was super cute. But we're continuing on with our whimsical folk art inspired paintings. You guys are really loving them, and for everybody who has been watching me, thank you, and those who are newly subscribed, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. I look forward to having a lot more videos for you guys. And so the brush I'm gonna use for right now is I want to use my silver black velvet size 8 round, and we're gonna do a wet on wet for the sky. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my colors and do that first. And I believe for the sky, and you may see a little bit of dog hair in here. Unfortunately, it's a never-ending battle. So I think for the sky, we're gonna go ahead and I want to take some ultramarine blue here. And it's the first time I've used this palette. I've been trying to use up some of my other paint. I have so much. So if there's a particular brand you want to see, I might have it, and we'll give it a go. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this Quin Burnt Orange, which I thought was a burnt sienna, but that's okay. If you have burnt sienna, you can take that. But basically, I'm just trying to, it's winter, and it's going to be a whimsical scene. But I want a little bit of a moody sky. So I'm going to take a little bit more burnt sienna, or not burnt sienna, but ultramarine blue. And there we go. Kind of a mixture between the three. Hopefully I'm in screen so you guys can see it. Now that I got my color mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wet this. I'm going to go ahead and go over the chimney, or not the chimney, but the, yeah, the chimney. But I'm not going to go over the roof. And then, it don't have to be perfect, but I really am trying to be mindful not to go into the house. Because the watercolor paint is lazy, and it's going to go where the water is. And I'm making sure that this is pretty wet because it's winter here, and I have the heater on, And with having the heater on, it seems like everything dries up really, really quick. The air is really dry and it just sucks the moisture out. So it's important to make sure your paper is not soaked, but there's like a shine to it. Okay. And it's not perfect, but I just want to make sure I got everything really good, because it will dry up pretty quick. So just kind of going over it once again. It will be a lot easier for me when it comes to this technique. But Wet n Wet is my favorite. I really love it so much. So I am gonna try, and I'm so proud of myself. I have actually done it. I'm gonna go ahead and take my finger and wipe there. But try to put out videos twice a week, possibly 3 times. I'm gonna try to do Wednesdays, Friday, and possibly one day during the weekend. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and start with my ultramarine, and I am just going to take that across the top. And then I'm just going to take the colors, and remember, towards the bottom you do want to lighten it. Okay. And being careful, the trees and everything will be dark enough that we can go over. And just kind of doing the sky like this. This year we're staying home. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go to Texas for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day like we did last year. But that's okay. I am really looking forward to staying home and painting. And normally for winter, I get a serious wintertime blues. However, this year, I am really, really embracing the cold, the dark, and it's not as bad. And I'm going over that tree a little bit because to make green, there's blue in it. However, I'm not trying to go over it all the way and fading this color down because I want it to get a little bit lighter. Okay, and then just taking it like so. And then what I'm gonna do is take some more of this Quin Burnt Orange, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I want to put a few shadows in for these trees and stuff. So probably put one there, put one here, and then here. And then we're going to blend this out in a second. And then here, here, and then there. So then I'm going to rinse my brush, and then I'm kind of dabbing it off. And then I am going to take some water and blend this all out. And it's going to give an appearance of snow. And then same thing with over here. I'm just kind of wetting it and then moving down. And same thing with here, because you want the shadow, but I don't want it to be a really hard edge. And then I'm gonna kind of moving my brush down to give it effect that maybe it's a hill. Okay. And then if we need to add a little bit more, we can. But I think I'm going to go ahead and I want to take a little bit of this lavender. And I want to throw some of that in too. And to the shadow. And then a little bit up here as well, while the paint's still wet. And then kind of blended it out. And that's the key that I find with snow, is just trying to blend it out. There. Kind of like where that's going. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and let this dry, and then we will come back. Oops, I missed part of the sky. But what you don't want to do is what I just did. I don't know how I missed it, but I did, and that's okay. But I'm getting this too wet, and it's gonna cauliflower. So, when you have too much water, going back over here. And then I want to blend this out. Taking this down to about the bushes, and we'll be going over the bushes, so, but blending this all because we want soft edges. And then same thing with over here, so gonna take that down and then blending this out as well. And perfect. And it'll be good if we have the sky and stuff a little bit darker, because we're gonna go ahead and put use our Dr. Martens pH, this, I can never remember it, Dr. pH Martens, I always have it backwards, bleed proof white. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and let this dry, and we will come back. Okay, so now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and take my size 6 silver velvet, and I want to clean up this roof a little bit. See how it's just needs to be a little bit crisper there. And if it's not perfect, we can always use some of our pH Martens to fix it. Anyway, so we will correct that and get that all fixed. So I think we're gonna go ahead and we can paint the house. And for the house, I think we're gonna have it maybe be a greenish color. No, we'll do a nice pretty red house. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my red, which is Pyrrole Scarlet. And I am gonna dab some of the moisture out, and what you do is you just kind of take it at, this way it don't remove the pigment. And so I'm gonna go ahead and move this and angle this a little bit. My palette is really big, and then I'm gonna go ahead and slant this. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna begin up here. And the house is really cute. We're gonna use the red house, and then I want to give it some green shutters. And if I get quiet here, it's just because I am concentrating. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you just kind of got to almost hold your breath and do it. And see, there's a little bit of a bleed there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my napkin. And I am using some shop talc. And then I am gonna do a little bit of negative paint in here. For the bush. Okay, and then trying to remove some of this excess extra, kind of going down, doing the same thing with that bush. But basically I'm trying to keep this moving so I don't get any hard edges, which I'm probably gonna get. It seems like I just cannot move fast enough without it, but if I do, which more than likely I probably will, I can fix it with some water on a damp brush to soften it. But I'm hoping not. So let me know in the comments if any of you guys struggle with that. For me, it's a struggle. I just do not paint quick enough around for like details and stuff for it not to. So basically I'm just gonna go back over everything because I don't want there to be any hard lines, and my paint is still somewhat wet. So I'm able to do that. And then here. Okay. So there's our house. So now we're gonna go ahead, and I want to go ahead and also paint the chimney, and that is going to be in the red. And I took the color directly, so, and then smoothing it out. And then I want to do a red. I think I'm going to do, yeah, a red door. No, we're going to do a brown door. So I'm going to go ahead and take some burnt umber and getting it to a tea consistency. And then first I'm going to do this little circle here. And if we need to take some gouache or anything to go over any of this, because it is very small, we can. But this idea is perfect for, you can do it in ink and wash. It is a great idea to, you could frame it. Or you could even use it in a scrapbook for a scrapbook idea. Or you can use it for a Christmas card. So there's many things you can do with this, but I am doing mine so I can give it as a gift more than likely. And I'm going to have to go over some of this with the P.H. Martin's white for some of the air detail, because I just went over it, but that's okay. And then we are leaving some spots white because that is what we all call negative painting, but we need that for the wreath. But I'm going to go ahead, and that needs to dry. And then I think also for the roof, we're going to put some of this burnt umber as well. A lot of times I don't know the colors and stuff till I get doing it. I'm kind of intuitive. It's just kind of like what feels right. And to me, you can have a plan, but you don't always have to stick with it. That's the lovely thing with these paintings. You know, they're not super realistic, but they're just a lot of fun. Not a lot of pressure. And they are ever so cute. Okay. And then taking some more of this. And I can try to straighten this back up now. And we're going to go straight across. And then down. And we are going to put snow on this roof. So when we do the tree behind it, we will be able to see it. But it's going to be a little bit darker of a tree anyhow. So just coming down. Okay. And there we go. We're going to go ahead and let that dry. Okay, so now we're going to do some fun details. I am so excited. I'm going to go ahead and take a drink first, and we will begin. With this, you're going to see it really starts coming together now. So, off camera, I went ahead and filled in with some new gamboge, the yellow of the inside, just to save a little bit of time. So we're going to go ahead, and I want to make this a little bit darker, but I'm just going to go ahead and put some line work in, like so. just to give it a little bit of texture. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the burnt umber. And kind of put it in there as well. Kind of almost giving it a brick appearance. Okay. So then we got that done. And then kind of along the same line. And I'm going to take a little bit darker. I want to add some detail to the roof. Just kind of add some lines. Because we kind of want to give it an appearance as if it has shingles on it. It's going to get, some of it's going to get covered up anyway, but we want to just give it a nice little look of shingles. It don't have to be perfect, but just trying to add a little bit more detail to it. And then over here, same thing. Just kind of rotating it back and forth. Taking some more of that color. And I love the texture it's giving it. Just kind of taking it back and forth like so. And then this, we're kind of going back over to soften it a little, just a little bit. Okay. So we got a little bit of texture there. So then I am going to take my Under the Sea green. Is the one I wanted. And I'm going to go ahead and dab it. And I am going to take it around. For a wreath. And then I want to take some of this purling green. And we're going to go ahead and put green shutters. And the green is going to look nice against the red. And then going down here and doing the same. And down here. And then over here. And then once that wreath dries, we'll do a little bit more detail to that. So now let's move on to, we got our little bushes here. So we're gonna put in some green there. Put another bush here. Put one here. These bushes are gonna be framed up really nice. And then we'll put in some shading and stuff too, but not a lot because I want to keep this very simple. Because after all, we are trying to keep in mind it is a folk inspired, whimsical piece. Okay. I really like that. So now I'm going to take some of that purling green. And while this is still wet, we'll go ahead and just kind of darken it on this side. And then same thing with these. Those are dry, but that's okay. Just kind of, and then blended it out just a little bit. Okay. I really like how it's looking. And then taking some more of this purling green, and on the tip of the brush, we're gonna go ahead and do some like garland. So basically, I'm just dancing the brush around. And then taking some red for some bulbs. And then we want a little red bow. So taking a little bit of red. Perfect. And then if you wanted to do lights and everything, you could. But I'm going to keep this relatively simple. And then put in a trunk. Taking a little bit burnt umber with some raw umber, and then some of this soda light. And get it to a very fine point. And we're gonna do one of our little branches of trees. I love doing these little tree branches like this. I think they're super duper cute. And this is supposed to be kind of tucked behind, so we're kind of having it tucked behind there. Making sure it's big enough so it makes sense. Okay. Probably trying to give the appearance. Okay. So I like that. And then kind of dirtying this green up a little bit, taking some purline and stuff. And then I want to do a tree here. And just kind of taking this back and forth. And getting underneath there. Okay, perfect. And then taking a mixture of my two greens, Under the Sea and Perylene. I want to do another one here. And just kind of dabbing the brush. Basically what I like to do is I try to have it dance. And we want the different colors. Okay. So this looks like it's further back. This looks more forward. There's a tree behind. And then I want to put one more over here. So once again, taking it up. And just kind of, you know, dancing the brush once again. Okay. And I love how that looks. So, moving on. We got our tree down here, and we are getting close to the end. I think we're gonna put one more tree back here. I think it needs one more behind. So basically doing the same type of thing, just kind of having a dance. Kind of almost doing like a swoop. But it ain't gonna take much because it's going behind the house and behind this tree, so. There we go. And I love how that's all filled in. And so now we're gonna go ahead and do our tree up front. And we are almost done. So if you guys are liking what you see, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And make sure you hit that bell notification. And if you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit that like. It really does help with the algorithm so other people can find me. It's a great way to show support. And our next video coming up is gonna be probably another whimsical folk art style, but in the near future, because the year's coming to an end, I am gonna do my favorite art supplies video for 2023. So you can find out what I liked and what I didn't like. Mainly what I liked. Okay. So going on. And so the last thing we got to do is, one, I want to add a few little grasses. So just kind of taking this little light brown. I'm just going to put up a little grass. A few grasses here. Maybe a few little in here. Just a little bit. And then I am going to go ahead and wet this. And what I am going to do is going to take some of this remained in ultramarine blue and some burnt umber, and I am going to go can hear my son laughing. And putting it down on the sidewalk. And yeah, like that. And then taking a little bit more of the ultramarine blue and gray mix, and then probably a little bit of this soda light. I'll just go ahead and put that in there, kind of doing a hem hodge, taking some of the dampness off because it was too dark. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and trying to be mindful and on keeping it on one side to show more of the shadow. Okay, and I like how that's looking. So we're just gonna go ahead and leave that to dry. And so the last thing that we are gonna do while that is drying is the fun part. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cover the bottom part of the picture. And I am gonna take some of my P.H. Martin and I am gonna put some of my palette here. Rinse my brush really good and dab it off towards the bottom. You shouldn't do it on top of your paper. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. But I am going to take a toothbrush, an old one, get it a little bit wet here, and oopsie, I want to add some snow. And you may want to practice because I just got a total blob right there, but that's okay. It'll be fine. But we want to add, and let's not get it all over my desk, some snow. And then I'm just going to go ahead and dabbing it on a little bit to there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Princeton size 6 Heritage brush. And I am just going to go ahead and I want to put a little bit of the snow on here. Like it has fallen. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the chimney. Because I didn't get as much as the snow effect as I wanted to, and I was just making a big old mess. So let's just do it this way. And a little bit on the branches of the trees here. And then we're just gonna go ahead and then I'm gonna put in a moon. I really like that. Oh, Okay. And then we'll just add a little bit of snow to the trees here. Just kind of doing the same thing. Just kind of dabbing it. Because we want to give it that snowy effect. And then doing the same over here. Just kind of taking it and putting it on. But I hope you guys enjoyed what you seen. Like I said, if you like what you're seeing, please hit the like and subscribe. And I look forward to the next video. And then kind of what I like to do is still give it a little whimsical look. Just giving it a hint. But I mean, you guys have a very, very blessed day. Gotta quit messing. Bye.